Hello, Skellies. It's me, Antonio D'Amico. This is Pointy and welcome to Witch Lich. That's right, we're doing this again. We're making brand new liches for your play pretend games. In this series, we believe that wizards shouldn't be the only ones that get to have fun becoming a monument to mortal hubris by refusing to embrace the inevitability of death. You know, light and fluffy stuff. We take the concept of the lich, the undead guy that simply refuses to die, ours, and we make a brand new lich with another of the classic RPG classes. So far, we've made a bard lich, a sorcerer lich, a druid lich, an artificer lich, and the brand new addition to the lich family, the barbarian lich. And all of those are fun and cool. So what if we continue the streak of Chad liches and do another one that isn't a spellcasting nerd? Or not just a spellcasting nerd. Today, we're making a ranger lich. So I made a video on rangers, and if you've seen it, watch it if you haven't, or else you'll know that rangers are not my favorite. As a matter of fact, they might be my least favorite D&D class. L for the bow guys all around. The reason why I don't love these guys that much is because I think their class identity is poorly defined. Everyone has a different idea of what rangers should be, and nobody can agree. And nothing exemplifies this better than the comments on my ranger video where everyone goes, "That's not true, everyone agrees that rangers are," and then all of them say widely different things. Rangers having a poorly defined class identity actually makes the lichification process we want to put them through in this video particularly hard. Because the way we do it on this channel is by taking the essence of the lich and the essence of the ranger and mashing them together like Play-Doh until a lich comes out. So let's start with that. Let's try to define the essence of rangers. Distilling rangers to their essence is not easy. To some people, rangers are the guy with the bow, but they don't have to be. To others, rangers are the forest survivalist, park ranger and hunter vibes, but they don't have to be. And to others, this is basically where I fall, is that they are the ones with pets. Rangers is the closest D&D gets to a pet class, but guess what? They don't have to be either. Rangers as a pet class is confined only to some subclasses, stuff like the Beastmaster, the Drake Warden, or the Swarm Keeper. Now, that's a majority of the subclasses, but you can still be like, I don't know, a Gloomstalker or a Horizon Walker, so it's not baked into the class. So herein lies the problem. Rangers never encompass everything the ranger is supposed to be, because the ranger is supposed to be 70 different things in the rough shape of a class. Ergo, poor class identity. So what do? Well, let's try to distill all of these disparate ideas to their very core. I've come up with 3 ranger cores. Shout in the comments if you disagree. Up my engagement, please. I need all the help I can get. The 3 cores are: 1. Nature. Rangers are intrinsically tied to nature, to the point they have magic. Like from it. Out of all the half-casters, rangers feel the least magic-y to me, but they sure have it, and the source of the magic is nature itself. So in order to make our lich feel rangery, nature must be in the mix. 2. Survival. Most ranger abilities are extremely situational and tied to making it out in the wilderness, Bear Grylls style. That's part of the whole fantasy. Hunting in the wilderness, drawing resources from the land, protecting the natural world, yada yada yada, you get it. 3. Dexterous. No matter what rangers are doing, they are doing it dexterously. They are associated most heavily with ranged weapons. Many of their spells literally require them to attack with a bow, and they're supposed to be good at stuff like stealth to blend into the trees and hunt prey. Also, we haven't done a dexterous lich yet, and I think that's an interesting challenge, so I'm putting it here. Cool, so what could we do with all of this? Well, hear me out. We can use one common archetype to tie all of these together. The figure of the hunter. Rangers are already heavily associated with animal companions. They get 3 whole subclasses devoted to them, and it used to be an actual class feature in the 3.5 days. So I'm using it for our lich. And speaking of lich, let's define the essence of these undead guys to mash it with rangers and create our ranger lich. Here at Pointy Industries, we have a tried and true recipe to make whatever godforsaken thing we come up with feel like a lich. I call it Pointy Hat's Lich Recipe. Listen up and take notes because it will be on the test. Here's how you make a lich. Before we get into the recipe proper, we gotta talk magic items. Why? Because the phylactery, the soul Tupperware where a lich stores, well, their soul, is a magic item. A magic item that is made by the lich-to-be to house their own soul. But what if I told you that there are magic shops that sell stuff like phylacteries and more? That's right, you don't have to make your own. Store-bought is fine. Not if you have the right book, that is. There are compendiums out there that act as a map. A map to a resource that all adventuring parties and DMs would kill for. Magic stores. The good kind. Not your regular dusty magical stores that are barely a step above a grocery store, but rather veritable emporiums, filled with not just incredible objects to use in any adventure, one-shot or campaign, but also filled with the incredible people that own and operate these emporiums of magic. A shadowy trader beholden to a pact that forbids him from aiding mortals who bypasses this by selling them helpful items. A curious fae that brings the magic of the Fae realm into mortal cities through her own shop. A disgraced professor that trades magical items for monster parts gathered by adventurers to further his magizoology studies. These are some, but not all, of the traders that can only be found with the right book. Which book? Well, The Seeker's Guide to Enchanting Emporiums, of course. Let's be real, there's nothing easier to recommend to you guys than a compendium of incredibly detailed magical shops. Nothing is easier to add to your games and gives you more bang for your buck than a massive compendium, and I do mean massive, 250 plus pages, full of magic items ready to use at your table. What makes The Seeker's Guide to Enchanting Emporiums so enchanting is the extreme level of care put into every shop. Each shop is a shop, sure, like it sells magic items, but also a full-blown adventure location with customers, staff, and of course the traders, but also literally quests, adventure outlines that take place in the shops or around them that elevate the boring shopping session into an actual adventure if you wanted to. So if you need a whole bunch of magic item inspo to beg your DM for, or you want some gizmos to throw at your players, or you want a whole bunch of possible adventures filled with interesting NPCs, go check out The Seeker's Guide to Enchanting Emporiums. The Kickstarter is live right now, like right as I'm talking, go, and it's doing amazing, so go take a look. It's the very first link in the description. And now that you know where you can get your store-bought phylactery, let's get back to our lich recipe, which goes a little something like this. 1. Deliberately choose undeath. A lich is not really a lich if undeath happens to it. Liches choose undeath, whether that is so they can accomplish a goal beyond their mortal years, or because they are just afraid to die, they actively seek to become zombies. It's a living, I guess, or I guess it isn't. Anyway, 2. Follow a ritual. To achieve this undeath thing, liches must accomplish a ritual. Whenever you make a lich, the edgiest amongst us will always immediately think about making a character that wants to become that lich. Having a complicated ritual tied to becoming a lich makes it possible, albeit hard, for that player to achieve their edgy dreams. 3. Tied to a phylactery. This is probably the most important aspect of lichdom. A lich puts their soul in a Tupperware container of doom and horror, and as long as their Tupperware container is intact, the lich reforms next to it when they are killed. At least in the vanilla version they do. We've been known to get very creative here with our Tupperware, so strap in because this one is not about to break that tradition. And finally, 4. Lichdom is not passive. The lich must have to actively work to continue to live. They must slay to live, if you will.
She ate.
This makes it so that your lich can just hole up in a tower, or a forest, I guess, if the lich is a ranger, and continue to do absolutely nothing for the rest of eternity. If you're adding a lich to your game, you presumably want them to feel like a big player in your story, and you're not gonna get that if your lich is just sitting down doing absolutely nothing at all. Cool, so we have the essence of the lich. Guy that is undead by choice that followed a complicated ritual to stuff their soul into a Tupperware of doom, and the essence of the ranger, dexterous natural survivalist, the hunter. Let's do what we do best. Let's mash these two things together and create the Carrion hunter. The reasons why rangers might turn to lichdom are as varied as rangers themselves. Maybe their moral lifespan is simply not enough time to protect the land that they were entrusted with by their conclave. Maybe they have a specific mark that eludes them, or a mark that might end them before the ranger has a chance to end it first. Whatever the reason is, rangers seeking the path of undeath have an easier path than most towards lichdom. But this is a poison gift. A ranger lich to be will prepare for a journey into the wild uncharted lands when they are willing to undergo the ritual. Preparation is key here, just like it is for everything the ranger does. Each and every day of the ritual, the ranger must hunt its favorite foe while not coming into contact with any trace of civilization, including other people. The only company the ranger can have during the ritual is that of the beast that walks alongside them. If the ranger has no creature accompanying them in their journey, they must start by finding one and bonding with it to have the beast accompany the ranger throughout the ritual, working together to hunt down their prey. While the ritual takes place, the ranger must subsist off of the land itself, and continually cross marks off of their list. The exact number of marks is unknown. Some say 100, some say 1,000, some say until the ranger rids the land they have chosen for the ritual of every single one of their favorite foes. Once enough marks have been hunted, the ranger will know what their next mark is, and so does the beast. The ranger and their companion must end each other's lives simultaneously, becoming each other's final mark. In doing so, an exchange happens, and this exchange leads to the creation of not one, but two phylacteries. The ranger has completed the process of turning themselves into a carrion hunter. at the moment of the kill, as their own life slips away from their body in the maws of their companion. The ranger's soul is bisected, and one half enters the dying body of the beastly companion. Carrion hunters are both lich and phylactery, as is their companion. If one dies, they'll reform next to the other as long as the second one lives. They are two members of one complete whole, inherently incomplete without the other, one soul occupying two bodies, a testament of the bond between ranger and companion that survives death itself. But this existence is not only a testament to the unbreakable bond between the two, but also an impossibly long and unavoidable death sentence. In order for the Carrion hunter to continue their own life, they must continue their hunt. When the lich starts to feel the thrill of the hunt, it must answer it and find their prey. Once they've done so, their beast companion will gorge on the souls of the prey, and their hunger will be satiated, at least momentarily. The beast will hunger for souls once more, and when it does, the Carrion hunter's next prey must be stronger than the last. And so, the Carrion hunter is forced to hunt increasingly formidable foes, becoming stronger with each soul consumed with each mark. But like for any lich, this cannot last forever. Carrion hunters meet one of two ends. The first is obvious. In their constant pursuit of stronger and stronger marks, the next mark proves too strong for the Carrion hunter. The hunter becomes the hunted, and both ranger and companion are slayed by their own mark, finally bringing their prolonged unlife to an end. This is, believe it or not, considered to be the most merciful of the two possible ends for a Carrion hunter. The second possible death for a Carrion hunter comes when they cannot find a mark stronger than the last. The thrill of the hunt grows within the Carrion hunter, and that thrill turns to hunger. The Carrion hunter's companion cannot be satiated with the souls it has consumed, for none are strong enough, none are stronger than the last one, except for its own soul. The companion, emboldened by the hundreds, perhaps the thousands of extremely powerful souls it has consumed, turns towards its master and devours it, finally reuniting the original soul of the ranger in one body. What results from this reunion is often called a soul hound, an undead monstrosity, half a person and half a beast, no longer a lich, but stronger than the Carrion hunter that gave birth to it. The soulhound has none of the cunning, wisdom, or even the personality of the previous lich. It will tear through the landscape the ranger once protected, feasting on souls both weak and strong, until it stopped. Soulhounds are seen as abominations even by liches themselves, and many Carrion hunters solemnly swear to put an end to their own life if they cannot find a suitable prey to consume once they grow powerful enough. But can you really trust that someone that has clung to unlife so fiercely will actually give it up when the time comes? Although we might find this grisly end tragic, maybe Carrion hunters find comfort in knowing that no matter what happens, the bond between the ranger and the companion will never be broken, either because they'll both meet their end together, or because they'll be reunited as one once more. That's a cool lich, I think. It hits all the ranger cores: survival, nature, hunting, connection with the beast. It has it all. It also really hits the lich steps we have outlined, and really sells the whole hubris and delaying the inevitable aspect of the lichdom that I love so much. That's what makes liches cool. I love it. And as I said, rangers are not my favorite, so that says something. But a cool monster is worth nothing if you can't think of ways to bring it to your games as a player or a DM. So let's think of some right now. And let's start with a way that you can bring the Carrion hunter to the table as a player, like a cat bringing a little dead gift to your human. Except the human here is your poor unsuspecting DM that now has to deal with this. How about a spin on the whole concept of wild children? And what if we use the bond between beast and ranger that is at the core of the Carrion hunter to its more heartbreaking extreme? Let's go. Juan, with an H and not a J, was only 6 when his traveling merchant family met their demise in an ambush by the side of the road. Juan was the only survivor, and he would have met his end too if it wasn't for another family taking him in. A family of wolves. They raised the child as their own, and Juan became part of the pack. His new parents and siblings taught him to skulk around the forest unseen, to hunt prey, to avoid plants that would hurt him, and look for ones that would heal him. And Juan taught them too. He taught the pack to make a fire to stave off the cold, to build shelters, and to even communicate rudimentarily. The wolf pack grew stronger, and their bond grew stronger too, especially the bond between Juan and his mother. The she-wolf took a particular liking to this new pup that needed more warmth during cold winter nights and couldn't run as quickly as her other children when people approached. They became inseparable, Juan always at his mother's side, heeding her advice. Together, the pack grew powerful, too powerful for their own good. First, hunters started to complain that game was growing scarce in the forest. Then, sheep that wandered too far were never seen again. Whispers of wolves in the forest led by a demon that looks like a human but walks on all fours started cursing through the towns that bordered the wolves' territory. When a child went missing, the villagers took up arms, and among them was an extremely powerful wizard that came to one of these towns to retire. The Wolfpack had nothing to do with the child disappearing, but they couldn't tell the villagers that, and even if they could, they would have never listened. The Wolfpack went from hunters to prey, and the fight was lost in minutes. The she-wolf could only grab one of her young as she fled, and she grabbed one. But the wizard cast one spell as the wolf ran away, a curse, a hex that tainted her fur as sickly green as it consumed her. Juan and his mother now walk with a new pack, a group of adventurers that have taken the young ranger in along with his companion. Juan is desperately looking for a cure for the curse that was placed on his mother, and nothing so far has helped. But he's heard of a ritual that can save his mother's life by binding it with his, and just as his mother taught him, he's making all the preparations before going on a hunt. Give him high dex and wisdom, okay constitution, and proficiency with stealth, acrobatics, athletics, and nature. And presto, your very own tearjerker at the table. What will the party do once they find out exactly what the ritual to become a Carrion hunter entails? Will they let Juan complete it? Help him? Stop him? Will they be so heartless as to doom his mother? Oh, the humanity! Or wolfanity, whatever, I think it's cool. And who says all curses need to be able to be broken by remove curse? Plenty of spells out there can only be removed with a wish spell, so I'm using it. It's all in service of the drama. And you know that at Pointy Hat Incorporated, we are very much in the business of serving drama. But what if you want to play an adventure that features a Carrion hunter? Well, if you know me, you know I gotta add some difficult choices in there. And any adventure with this particular lich has to be about a constant hunt for a bigger and more powerful prey. And what is bigger and more powerful than a Tarrasque? The mountainous region of Orensis is famous in the entire empire for its healing hot springs, spectacular geysers, and its colorful pools of subterranean water. And all of those are thanks to an extremely dangerous monster that sleeps deep under the region, but it's not set to sleep for long. The Tarrasque under Orensis stirs, and the Duke stirs in his throne too. But while one is awakening from its slumber, the other stirs with fear, as all that they love and hold dear is about to be leveled to the ground by the biggest, most monstrous threat known to history. In their moment of greatest need, the Duke received the visit of a cloaked live man, accompanied by an ungodly beast at his side that none could identify, or even confirm it was alive. The man assured the Duke that he could take on the Tarrasque, but he would need help in this endeavor. So the Duke has requested the help of adventuring parties throughout the country, offering an impossible amount of gold if they succeed in their quest. And after a long, arduous test of skill and might, your party has been chosen to accompany the mysterious hunter in this terrifying endeavor. The man is, plot twist, bet you didn't see this coming at all, a Carrion hunter, seeking to fight the Tarrasque as he can't find a stronger prey than that monster. He has no ill will towards Orensis, its Duke, or anyone. He just seeks to kill the monster to prolong its own life. But you are keenly aware of what happens next. If you do help him kill the Tarrasque, what could possibly be the Carrion hunter's next mark once the thrill of the hunter awakens in him and his companion again? What happens if there's no stronger mark and the beast that has devoured the soul of a Tarrasque turns into a soul hound? What if the party helps the Carrion hunter, and later he decides that the only mark stronger than the Tarrasque is the adventuring party that helped him bring it down? But what if they don't help him? Can the party bring down the monster on their own without the Carrion hunter's help? The drama, the humanity, the Tarrasquianity. I think that's a pretty sick quest. And it allows for so many alternate endings depending on the choices of the party. And that's the best thing about D&D. Play your choice. Fight the Tarrasque with the Carrion hunter. Now his beast has the soul of a Tarrasque inside of it. Don't help the Carrion hunter. Orensis is leveled to the ground. Countless lives are lost. And most importantly, you don't get paid. Find a way to stop the Tarrasque rising from the ground at all? Now you have a pissed off lich mad as hell that you stole his kill. Have fun. I mean, you can't really have fun with it since the Carrion hunter doesn't exist. These are just examples. You would need a whole stat block. No, wait. 2 stat blocks. One for the lich and one for the companion. That's a lot. And I guess the companion stat block should come with ways to increase its power. That way you can run it so that the companion is more or less powerful depending on the souls it's eaten. That'd be sick. A ton of work though. Have fun writing all that. Oh? Well, look what the cat dragged in. I don't like cats. It's the entire stat block for the Carrion hunter for free. In the description of this very video, ready for you to use, 100% certified Pointy Hat free. But what if ranges are not for you? Well, here's a video about sorcerer liches. It's my best reviewed lich so far. People love it. It's a personal favorite too. Check it out. And if liches are not for you, but you're into super smart undead monsters, how about vampires? I made a whole bunch of different ones based on the 7 deadly sins. So have fun with liches. See ya! Mwah!